Hello and welcome to 2023, and while the year has changed, the student council has not. Well, maybe a little bit. We are going to try out preambles this year, at least for the next couple episodes, see how they sound. Basically, they're little introductions giving context to the guest and a little bit of what's going on. This is an episode with a dear friend, Ava Fink, that I actually recorded, I think the same day I recorded the episode with DJ Truth, which is kind of fun. I give you that context because we talk about the holidays and things happening in early November that, would be a little bit outdated if it actually occurred in January. The other note I have is a little bit of feedback on my mic. Apologize for that. One-time thing. Just a strange error with Blue Yeti I'm using. This is the Rode NT1 I'm talking into now, which is a fun fancy mic that I keep at home because I'm scared to bring it to school because I don't want to break it. But that's all the notes that I have. Ava has been a great friend. She is attending the College of Wooster, and I am so excited for you to hear our conversation. Anyways, on with the episode. Hello and welcome to the Student Council Podcast, an educational advice show made for students and by students, where everyone is qualified to talk about their own experiences. I am Carter Dvorak, and today I am so freaking excited to be joined by Ava Fink from Wooster. Ava, how are you doing? How's it going? What's been the favorite 5 minutes of the past week? I want it all.
I'm doing fantastic, Carter. My favorite past 5 minutes of this last week. So it was Halloween weekend. I had a lot of fun with my friends. We just hung out and played some board games in my friend's dorm on a Sunday, and that was a lot of fun.
That is awesome. I need to get my board game group together. I think we're going to do a game night sometime this weekend, and I'm very excited for it because we have all the board games. We just haven't done it yet.
No, I completely understand. We do it every Sunday. It's a lot of fun. We just hang out, play Cards Against Humanity or a board game. It's great.
Very fun. Do you win? I have to ask.
I did not win the other night. It was a shame. I was really close to winning though.
I have no doubt. Okay, Ava. So you go to the College of Wooster in Ohio, and
I do.
I've talked to you about Wooster. I think I learned about Wooster through you. And I want to learn more about Wooster, okay?
Okay.
I want to talk about, so what made you specifically go to Wooster, of, all these schools that you were applying to? What are you kind of studying there? What's kind of the general vibe of Wooster? What's your take on Wooster?
So Wooster is known for our independent study as a junior and senior. So you have a senior IS where you focus on one specific topic and generalized in your major, and you write a very long paper about it. Or if you're a music major, you'll write a composition. It's a lot of fun. A couple of my friends are currently writing theirs. I am studying political science with hopefully a focus in comparative politics. And then I'm thinking about minoring in environmental science.
Those are very cool minors. That is always fun to be studying that stuff. After graduation, what do you think you kind of want to go into there? What would you think you apply all the minor and major stuff to?
So I want to go to law school and become hopefully an environmental lawyer or civil rights lawyer. I'm not really sure, but I have time to figure that out. So
you absolutely have time. You have two very good choices there. Two very good choices that I feel are not going to be, expiring anytime soon. I think we'll be needing a lot of environmental and a lot of civil rights lawyers. I want to also ask, Worcester as a whole, are there Worcester traditions? Are there the campus staples? What's that all about?
So we have a lot of traditions on campus. One of them is our multicultural fair, which is happening next week, I believe. So a lot of people will wear their traditional clothing from their countries, and they'll perform dances for us, do something to share their culture. And then during the winter, we have this tradition where we fill our archway. So on campus, we have this big arch in our main building, which is Calc. Tradition is that if you fill the arch all the way, fill the snow, then you will get the next day of school off.
Okay. Teachers abide by this rule? They're into it?
So usually it's done on a Friday, so you don't have classes the next day. But
that's goofy. That's cute. I like it.
But it used to be the only building on campus, so it had to be followed because the students would fill it, and there was only 2 entrances and exits in this building, so it was the only way to get in and out.
That sounds like a little bit of a hazard, but honestly, respect it. I respect that.
It was okay. Yeah. I mean, it was the only educational building, so we still had dorms and things, which it didn't create a hazard for people inside it. It's traditionally done at night.
Okay, very
Yeah.
nice. Speaking of dorms, I'm always curious about school housing. What is housing like at Worcester, and is it something where are you in dorms? Are you in dorms for how long? Are you looking at housing next year already? Because that is a wild phenomenon that has happened here, where it's like I've been here for 2 months, and it's already like, are you getting an apartment? What are you going to do for housing next year? Like that's such a big thing. So what's housing kind of like at Worcester? I'm always curious about that.
All 4 years people live on campus,
Hmm.
which creates like a very it creates such a big community within Worcester, and you get to know people really quickly because of it. You don't have to stay in dorms all 4 years. Traditionally people end up in a house, or which like our school owns, and but most people end up staying in a dorm for all 4 years. A few of our freshman dorms have air conditioning, actually. I do not currently live in one of those dorms, but it's
Dang.
okay.
Yeah,
I actually really like my dorm. It's really nice, super comfortable. We have funky colors on our walls, which
I
is
see
nice.
that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
That's like is it like an olive green kind of vibe?
it is. We also, in other rooms, there's red and green, which we have, there's yellow and a blue, I think.
Okay, go
There's just
blue.
like random, yeah, there's just like random colors on in different rooms, which is fun.
That is fun. Is like,
Yeah.
are they Worcester colors? Like, I'm good. Worcester colors are like yellow. What are Worcester colors?
So it's black and gold, and then we also have red, which was introduced last year as one of our main colors.
Oh, do you know why it was like? Why were they like, all right, we got to add red to this. We got to spice it up, or too much like a bumblebee?
No, it's not that. Like, it just was introduced as one of our main colors last year, but it's been part of our three main colors for since the school began. We have a tartan. It's called MacLeod tartan, I believe, and those are the three main colors in it. But it we started like introducing it into like our uniforms and like for sports and things, and our like merch.
Nice.
Yeah,
Speaking of uniform for sports and things, you do a thing with a uniform, Ava. You're in the
I
band
do.
at Worcester. I think you are,
I
if I'm not
am.
mistaken, the first person I've had on here to be in a college band. And I want to hear, what do you play? What was your experience joining band? How has that been like in a band in college? How do you compare it to kind of like band in high school, which we both did together? Just talk me through band.
So I play the mellophone, which is basically a larger trumpet or a marching French horn, is how I explain it to people because most people don't know what a mellophone is.
Mhm.
So that's what I play. My experience in the marching band, it's fantastic. We wear kilts for games, and we have a doublet, which is the jacket that we wear. It's very intense. It's traditionally worn by a Scottish military. So we wear traditional Scottish military garb when we are performing our marching show, which is a lot of fun. It's marching band here is honestly taken a little bit less seriously than it was in high school for us. I think that our band director in high school was just like super supportive and just like the best band director ever. He was
Yeah.
fantastic. And I think he really created a community where we could thrive in. We just got new band directors this past year in college. So they're completely new and they don't like know how our like traditions go and things like that. So they're trying to like work on that and make us sound better. Our musical director, he's fantastic, Dr. Gershman. He's so great. And then we also Dr. Kilgore, he's our drum corps man. He helped like perform. He taught the Bluecoats, which if you don't know, they're like a traditional DCI marching band, and he like helped with their drum corps.
That's really cool. Seems like you have a
Yeah.
lot of it. Like transitional stuff is definitely really tough. Have you noticed even from like them starting to now? Is there like has it kind of gotten more adopted? Some of the transitional things that they're doing, I guess. Like if that makes sense.
Yeah, so basically they're like keeping our traditions as close to tradition as possible. They don't want any of like the alumni to be like, you're doing it wrong. They don't want to make all of the old people mad. Um, so they're really keeping strict to tradition, which is really nice. Our band is really small though. Like it's only like 54 people.
Oh no
It's
way.
Yeah, it's really small. Nobody has to audition here for it though, which is fantastic. Like anyone and everyone is allowed to compete and be on our marching band. It's basically just a class,
That's
and
cool.
it's a lot of fun.
I'm glad. I'm glad it's a
It's
lot of
great.
fun.
Yeah,
I think it's always nice to have a band that's open and don't have to audition for it because it's just such a cool community and a vibe.
yeah.
It's funny when you talk about like don't make alumni and old people mad. Like I still remember my parents the year we cut Sleigh Ride. The person, like the guy sitting behind my parents, the entire show just being like this is a very like an old man is like just the whole time like where is Sleigh Ride? Like vehemently, this man was upset
I
that we
know.
had Sleigh Ride, and like I get it, I get the love of Sleigh Ride there, but it's so funny. I think I was still new enough at the time where I didn't realize like how massive of a staple that was, and
No, I remember growing up in like fifth grade, sixth grade, seventh grade, all throughout middle school. I was like, I can't wait to play sleigh ride because it's just like such a strict tradition at our high school that we play
hmm
sleigh ride every single year. I was always really excited about that. So I was a little mad when we didn't do it either.
yeah, no, I get that. That was freshman year. Was it freshman year we didn't do it, or
I
was it
think it
sophomore
was
year?
sophomore.
That honestly tracks a little bit. Senior
I
year we
think he
did it
just like,
though.
yes, he just got really tired of doing it, which is completely understandable.
hmm Yeah, senior year sleigh ride was fun. I still remember Ethan
Yeah.
like sprinting around with the slapstick, like
Oh my God,
leaping into
I
the
have a
air.
video on my phone of it.
It's so good.
It's so
I hope they
funny.
do it this year. I see everybody's like B reels from high school and they're learning the Christmas music, and I'm like,
I
dang,
know. It's so cute.
it's so cute. Shout out to B real. Fun times.
Yeah, love Be Real.
Absolutely love it. Now, Ava, let's be real with some of the next questions that we have. I'm trying to
Okay.
work on my transition game today. This is a question. These are the ultimate questions, the general questions, the ones I really like to ask everybody because they're all so
Mhm.
great. This is like a double header because I don't really. I guess just in case you only have one or the other. The first part of it is like this pass it on segment, which I always really like of like if you've been told a piece of high school or college advice that you want to basically share and kind of share that and like pass it on. Also, just like do you have an ultimate tip, like a big old ultimate tip piece of advice?
So a pass it on information. I have one for high school and I'll also give one for college. So my high school one is join clubs as much as possible, join a sport. It doesn't matter if you're good, do what you can. It's great your freshman year of high school just to like join those things, and it's really easy to make friends that way in high school. In college, I highly recommend that you go to office hours. Your professors are there to help you. Also, if you need an extension on anything, most likely they'll give it to you because they understand what's going on. And like, if you just explain why you need it to them, they'll be totally willing and lenient. It's been great.
Very true. I need to go to more office hours. Honestly, I always enjoy it when I do. It's always like I
Yeah.
feel like I've gotten. I suddenly get more comfortable with like professors or GSIs and stuff once I go to an office hour, and I'm like, okay, I feel like just more like a slightly more connected, and I'm like, okay, I feel like I learn a little bit more now. So it's
Yeah.
very
No,
nice.
I try to go to office hours as often as I can. Most of the time, though, they conflict with my other classes. So I just
hmm
like can't make it to some of them.
Yeah,
But if you can, highly recommend them. They're super helpful and beneficial for your classes.
absolutely. And professors are such interesting people. I always like
They
that's my thing
are.
too. Is I'm like, I either want to go to office hours, have them on the podcast, probably do both, but I want to learn so much about all of these people. So
Yeah, no, one time I went to office hours and I asked him about my paper. We talked about my paper for maybe a maximum of 10 minutes. And then 40 minutes later, we were still talking, but it was just about random stuff.
that is
It
incredible. I
was
love that.
not even about my paper anymore. I was like, this is great.
This is amazing. It's fun. So, we are both freshmen in college, which is very
Mhm.
exciting. And I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on how were your expectations going into school and how has the reality kind of compared? How did that shift? How did it not shift? Just all of that.
So I thought it was gonna be a lot harder to make friends in college than it actually was. Everybody's just wanting friends, so it's super easy to make friends in college, especially like the first month or so. Like nobody has friends, so they're just willing to hang out with you. Um, at first, like it's difficult to get to know people, but it was a lot easier than expected, to be honest.
All right, Ava. What's a dorm room essential? What's one thing you feel like you need that everybody needs in their dorm room?
A fan. I didn't think that I needed a fan. I need a fan.
Yeah.
Also a mattress topper. It doesn't, I know that I'll probably be living on dorm mattresses for 4 years. Highly recommend investing in a good mattress topper.
Indeed. No, my fan has been running since the first, like, I don't think that little guy has stopped moving since the first day of college.
Right? No, that this fan is the best fan ever.
It's
Love it.
chugging along. Yeah.
It hasn't stopped. Like it's not died. I think I unplugged it for break and that was it.
Yeah. No, it's fun. It's nice. It's like right in front of my window, and I'll open my window, and hopefully it just spreads a little fresh air around.
Mine is just directed at my face.
Of course. Get the fresh wind blown hair.
Exactly.
All right. So I want to also talk about dining halls because I think this is really interesting. So does Worcester have multiple dining halls, a single hall? And what has been the best bite of food either at a dining hall or outside of a dining hall?
So we have one dining hall. Sometimes we'll also have Kit, which is another dining hall open. Usually that's for Soup and Bread, which is one of our clubs on campus that donates like over half, I think, of our meal swipe to charity. So it's
That's
just like,
nice.
yeah, so it's just like a cheap way to make a meal. So it's just like soup and bread, and it's super cheap and super efficient for students. I live right next to it. That happens like once a week maybe. And then Lowry, everybody calls it Lao, is our main dining hall, which is open every single day, starting at 7 and it closes at 8. We also have late night dining, also known as fourth meal.
What's fourth meal? What are the fourth meal hours? I'm already jealous, but I want to know more.
Fourth meal hours go from 8 to 1, I think. Yeah, I've never used it, but
You never used it? Is it just
no.
like dining hall, or is it like is just like a dining hall open later?
Yes, basically, but you can't use your meal swipe. You have to be using your flex dollars.
Okay. Okay, yeah, because for us, I feel like 8 a.m., all the dining halls and like campus affiliated eateries like close, which makes it hard. And then by 10, it's like you're screwed if you need food.
Yeah, and then we also have 3 different cafes on campus. So we have our Knowlton Cafe, which is in Ruth Williams, which is our science building. My favorite cafe on campus, personally. And then they have the best food and they also have the best coffee on campus. And then we have Boo
Nice.
Bears, which is right underneath Calc. And then we also have McLeod's Cafe, and that one's right beneath Lowry.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fun. Yeah, best coffee. How's your coffee relationship been once you've been at college? How's that been going?
I honestly don't drink coffee a lot. I try to not rely solely on caffeine. I know that like I currently have like 4 monsters in my fridge and I have a whole box of 12 in where I keep my food, but I try not to rely on it.
See, that's smart. I'm with you too. I honestly got to school and my like caffeine intake dropped, which was nice. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'll still take a good chai. Like I'll take a nice chai at the cafes. There's a Starbucks in the business building, which is the most business building thing I've ever heard of. But it's like it is nice to just have a little Starbucks right there. It's now all decked out for the holiday season, which is kind of fun. So I need to get my
Oh,
little red
really? That's
Starbucks
so
cup.
early, I feel like.
It certainly is early. I think the temperature's throwing it off. If it was cold, I would accept. Like I'd be more like,
Yeah,
yeah,
more
that makes
accepting
sense.
of it.
But yeah, like November 1st, it flipped. So I was like, okay,
Interesting.
I get it. And yeah, I think there's all the peppermint offerings now and
Yeah.
all that fun stuff. So do you
And
have
then
then? Yeah,
your second part of the question was my favorite thing
best bite
from.
of food. Yeah, like favorite thing either from campus food or non-campus food or both or whatever.
So, best campus food. We have these dim sum ribs. They're super good.
Dim sum ribs.
Yeah, it's just like the way that they're prepared. They're so good. I think we had them for a week straight. I had them every single night.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So I had that. And then favorite thing off campus, a lot of people just like end up eating fast food. We have a lot of restaurants downtown, which are super nice. But I really want to try the Curry Pot, which is a place downtown. They currently aren't letting people dine in, but I want to like order out and have it delivered. I'm really excited about it. It seems really good.
I bet. Yeah, curry pot, that sounds really good.
Yeah.
There are so many places you go that I still need to try and I want to. A lot of like Mediterranean and like babadari, things like that. Like, they seem just very good. So, or babadaris, I believe is how it's pronounced. But
are you and Elliot still doing your like 1 week of meals?
it's
Like,
not as consistent, but it's definitely like when we try to eat together semi-frequently. Sometimes it'll be dining halls depending on how our wallets are feeling, but like we'll try
understandable.
and go out to like sushi or Indian food or things like that. I think we both still need to try like no Thai, which I know it's just like Thai fast food and everybody talks about it. And I want to like go and do that, but I do love like going out to food with friends and stuff, whether it's like just eating in dining halls or like hanging out at restaurants and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Frida Petitos is it's like a Spanish place that has these good, like really good milkshakes and like sandwiches and stuff. So
Sounds
very
good.
nice. Yeah. All right. I always like asking this question, particularly to people who have gone to our high school, which I think the last person was Sam Beckman. But
Love
is there
Sam.
a moment? Love Sam Beckman. Okay.
Agreed.
I know. So what is a moment from high school that you still think about? That's the question. Is there a moment from high school that you still think about?
Yes. The moment that I think about is our band concert, like all of them, but mainly our senior night one. I think that one went really well for us, but also all of our marching band shows and walking back and doing our little dance that we do once we get out of people's sight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was so good.
that's what I think about.
I do too. Those marching band shows are so much fun. Speaking of bands, speaking of music, I am building the Student Council School Survival playlist, and I would like to know, do you have any musical songs, anything that you'd like to add to that playlist? Any songs or anything that got you through a period of school that you just kind of want to throw on there?
Yeah. Here, let me pull up my playlist so far. Hold on. Young Blood, acoustic version by Noah Khan.
Okay.
Cynical Mind by Lemons.
All right. We've made it to the very last question of the questionnaire, Ava, of the interview. And this is one that I would love to hear. What would you tell yourself freshman year in high school?
I would tell myself people aren't as judgmental as you think they are. Most of the time, they're too worried about themselves to even start thinking about you. And it was a thing that I was hung up a lot in high school, but I realized later on that like people don't care what you're doing because they're too worried about what they're doing.
Nailed it. 10 out of 10. A++.
Thank you.
That was awesome. It's good. I cannot even begin to describe how true like that is.
Yeah.
The whole phenomenon. And I just feel like it does not get talked about enough, but it's true. So
yeah.
All right. The actual last question. That was a penultimate question.
That's okay.
Put that word in there.
Of
The
course.
last question is, what do you have to plug, Ava? Is there anything you want to share? Anything you want to plug to the people, like personal, otherwise, anything?
Come to the College of Wooster. It's a blast.
It's a good plug.
Yeah.
It's a good one. Be a class student rep or whatever.
Ooh,
tour guide.
Also, apply to as many scholarships for your school as possible. You'll regret it if you don't.
Absolutely correct. Damn right. It's true. Do as many as humanly possible.
Exactly.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of this episode of the Student Council. Thank you, Ava, for coming on. I cannot tell you how much fun it was to talk and reminisce and have a grand old time. Thank you for listening to an episode of Student Council. I'm so glad to have you here. I have been Carter Dvorak. That over there has been Ava Fink. Ava, any other parting words? Anything else you want to say before we head out?
Thank you so much for having me. I had a blast.
I had a blast as well. It is very fun. This was very good. So we'll have to do this again sometime.
Of course.
Anyways, if you want to find us, our Instagram is @StucoPod and our email is stucopod@gmail.com. Send any feedback, any suggestions, anything at all. 5-star reviews are always super nice for any podcast out there on iTunes or Spotify. Really, truly appreciate it. Very fun. Anyways, I wish you the best of luck and the best of times in all of your educational endeavors. The Student Council is adjourned.